We're going to talk about some things. I'm a chiropractor. I was trained as a chiropractor. I'm also trained in functional medicine, which is a different way of looking at health and disease and approaching it from a different perspective. Rather than see a symptom, give a pill, it's see a symptom, track down the cause of it. And if there's any metabolic barriers to that, then we find and fix those. We take away the things that's harming you because we find them, and we put back the things, the nutritional potholes that you might have. We'll fill those in, and guess what? Your body will be right again. Your body wants to lose weight. Your body wants to sleep. Your body wants to have energy. And if it's not doing those things, among others, your body wants to have happy thoughts and energy. If that's not happening to you, you have some barriers in your metabolism, among other things. And the metabolism aspect is what we can deal with. The ultimate health checklist. I'm going to talk about 7 tests your doctor ought to order for you, or you can get through me, that is sort of the basis for finding out why you are the way you are, what you're dissatisfied with in terms of your health. First one, vitamin D. And all of these things that it says there relate to cancer, heart disease, stroke, brain degeneration, and diabetes. All of these can be prevented. A lot of these, especially diabetes, can be reversed. You shouldn't be satisfied with managing your diabetes. You should be only satisfied with doing something to reverse it, because you didn't get hit by a bus and get diabetes, okay? It takes 20 years to get diabetes, and we can catch it before it gets there and stop you from getting there, okay? But these tests will help you do that. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is more a hormone than it is a vitamin. Hormones are signaling compounds present in the body in tiny amounts. They're to talk how the body talks to itself in one way that it does that anyway. But vitamin D, I've tested lots of people for vitamin D, men and women, and nobody has enough vitamin D. Okay? If you're like a pasty-faced white boy like me who doesn't get out in the sun because you got to go get skin cancers cut off of you don't get out in the sun. Okay? So you got to get it from some other way. But vitamin D is critical to keeping cancer, heart disease, depression, as well as osteoporosis away from you. And it's easy to measure. I've tested a couple of people who had been in the normal range for vitamin D, and they were taking 50,000 units of vitamin D a week. That's how they stayed in sort of the middle dose range, the middle concentration in their blood. So 15 minutes out in the sun without sunblock on. Come on in. Okay, we're not dancing here, correct. We switched because they had the dancers scheduled for this room, which, yeah. So it worked out for me too better, so I like this room better. But vitamin D signals lots of processes in the body. Oh, you were getting sunlight. 15 minutes of sunlight, you get about 5,000 units of vitamin D. No sunblock, okay? Sunblock blocks vitamin D, so everybody slathers on the sunblock and prevents themselves from getting vitamin D. We ought to have lots of we should have almost no vitamin D deficient people in this latitude because lots of sunlight. But, we don't. So vitamin D is critical for every single person, man, woman, and child. And if you don't know your vitamin D, then it's deficient. Just get out in the sun, and drinking milk isn't enough. There's not enough vitamin D in milk to make a difference, unless you drank 10 gallons of milk a day. Okay, then that causes another issue. Okay. If you're like me, allergic to milk and milk products, then it's a struggle. Okay. So no sun and no milk. That's me. Food allergies. And I'm not talking about the eat a strawberry, your neck swells up food allergy. I'm talking about the nasty, hidden, delayed ones like I had. If you'd asked me 3 years ago, Dr. Bailey, do you have any allergies? I would have said absolutely, positively, no. But then I was tested. And I have a massive reaction to milk, to casein, and milk and milk proteins. And what do these delayed food reactions do? Well, since I had cheese or milk at every meal all my life, I never knew if it affected me or not. I just thought I felt this way because I felt this way. You know, I used to weigh 300 pounds and now I don't. So things changed. But delayed food reactions are you drink milk on Saturday and you feel tired and bloated and crappy on Thursday, and you don't connect the two because it's 4 days in between. And you say, well, I heard about milk allergies, so I stopped eating milk and milk products for 2 weeks and I didn't feel any different, so it must not have been a milk allergy. The problem is it takes 6 weeks to 2 months to get that out of your system. So there's absolutely, positively no way to do an elimination diet and figure out these delayed food reactions. You'd be 75 years old because before you figured it out. Okay, if you started in your 20s. Okay, there's just too many equations to solve at the same time. Simple blood test, finger prick or blood draw, will tell you what you're allergic to. Okay, now what difference does it make? Well, you know, my granddaughter never breathed through her nose the first year of her life. And I did everything chiropractically and nutritionally to try to solve that, and it mitigated it, but it didn't relieve it. So I tested her. Guess what she was having for breakfast every morning? Oatmeal with milk. Okay, guess what she was allergic to? Milk and oats. Okay, bless her heart. And garlic. There's garlic in everything, by the way. So my daughter Amanda, who we met out there, we took her off of all the dairy products, wrote a note for school, looked at the labels. You know, it's hard to feed a kid, you know, that. Used rice milk and the protein medical foods that we use. After about 10 months, well, after about 6 weeks, she cleared up. No more rattled chest. She can breathe through her nose. She's got more energy. She's a whole lot easier to get along with. Don't have these like meltdowns, you know. Easier to live with, okay? And a 2-year-old is kind of difficult anyway. So you put that on top, and they had this sort of irritation going on in her diet that made it even worse. So it was the times child from hell, head spin around and you know, that kind of stuff. That changed when we changed her diet. Happy kid, growing well, breathing normally. And after 10 months and doing the things I did for her with her little metabolic makeover, she can now have milk and oats and garlic without a reaction. Okay? We still sort of limit it. We don't go hog wild, but you know, she can have pizza every now and then and not sound like she's got the croup. So, food can make you sick. Good food can make you sick. Okay? Whey protein is an excellent food. Eggs are excellent foods. But if you're allergic to milk and eggs, there's no diet in the land you can go on and lose any weight, because obesity is an inflammatory process, and if the food makes you inflamed that you're eating, you're not getting anywhere, and it's not your fault. You just didn't know what's giving you the problems. In my program, just eliminating the toxic foods without doing any other intervention or trying anything else, people lose 12, 15 pounds in a couple of months. Okay? Because their body's not inflamed. Okay? We'll talk about that in a minute. Good food can bite you back. And it's easy to track it down.